So, this is pretty much what we all look like when we leave. Every time. So every 6 months, we're all just kind of sitting here looking like we all just look really, really sad. We all look really, really sad when we leave. It's really hard to leave John. It's a long, long time. So this is our first tornado since we've been here, and super fun. One fun fact for road trips, or one fun tip for road trips, is have a couple pillowcases. Any blankets or coats or anything that you're not immediately going to be using, put them in pillowcases and they double as pillows. So instead of taking pillows with you when you're traveling, take coats and stocking caps. At least if you're going into the Rockies in May. Take hats and coats. And I also like to put blankets in pillowcases, and they work really well so that you don't have one extra thing that you need to bring to make your kids comfortable. So since we got packed last night from the video that you guys saw yesterday, I've added things and taken some things out. I took out some of our school books. And I added in the water filter. We added in water for everybody in solid jars so that we can just refill them along the way. What else did I add? I don't think I really added anything else, just the water filter. Oh, and I don't know if you can see. If I wear you can see if I touch it, where my personal protection device is. The thing I don't like about them is that they are not flattering. This one, if I wear something really bulky, I can get away with it better than I've been able to get away with anything like that in the past. But it's still not flattering. I think we're going to be able to fit just fine in the rental car. And we didn't actually have a touchdown of a tornado in our area, but there were some pretty big storms around us, and we are driving through more storm today. So it's interesting to me that when I'm coming from Idaho, I've got blizzards, and when I'm coming from Oklahoma, I have tornadoes. Just fun mix of weather.
Springtime.
Springtime. That's going to be big enough to hold. Is it that one? That one.
It might actually be pretty big.
I got to see the trunk.
Right? So the Sirius XM is included, right?
You may get lucky. Okay.
I got a child.
So preppers and mothers are liars. The reason is because when you go on a trip, both preppers and mothers will say, oh, we're just going to go with the bare minimum this time. We're just going to keep it super simple and not take hardly anything. So I thought I had everything in 3 boxes and we were ready to go. And then I'm like, but I need to bring my water filter. Oh, but I need to bring the coats. Oh, but I need to bring all of the vitamins we might need. Oh, and I need my essential oils. And so in the end, we ended up having to rent a minivan instead of the normal car. Well, we are in Kansas, and the clouds actually look a lot more ominous here than they did in Oklahoma, which I think is really funny. Isn't that how it goes? Is I don't think we're in Kansas anymore, Toto, but this time we're definitely in Kansas, and it definitely looks stormy, and we've got some clouds that are reminiscent of like certain types of weather. All right, so we have arrived. This is a glamping situation. You can see that this is literally just a farm, and that is just a Quonset hut. So they did not insulate it. All they've done is add a garage door and some other windows so that there's some light that comes in. They painted it, and they actually have like a manure pile over here that I guess you're supposed to go to the bathroom in. This is a new one for me. Even in our off-grid cabin back home, we have an outhouse, whether it's a porta potty or a regular outhouse. I'm not sure that matters so much as long as you have something. We have a shower. We have a wood-burning stove. We have propane for heating water, for cooking, and we have those amenities because when you live anywhere off-grid for very long, you want to be super comfy. You want to be able to get clean. In this one, they have electric blankets on the bed. They have a nice little fire pit out front, and so it looks like it would be super, super fun as long as it's in the middle of summer and it doesn't get real hot in your area and it doesn't get real cold in your area, because summer heat is just as miserable as winter cold. Just that the insulation on your house makes such a difference. We learned this the hard way the first summer we were in the off-grid cabin. We did not insulate it first, and we lived in it for I think 4 weeks, maybe 6 weeks before we insulated it. And we got so hot, even though we were in Idaho and it is not a state that gets really hot. We were miserable because the cabin actually held the heat in. So I think this is a really, really great idea for making income on the farm and giving people a really interesting experience. And for my take on it, having lived off-grid extensively as I have, it doesn't take that much more to add creature comforts in. As far as like, you could build a little bit of a cage so that people could heat water. There are all sorts of little gimmicky things you can do in order to be able to shower and use a little bit of a gray water system. You can put in an outhouse. I understand that sometimes the logistics of your local code come into play if you list it as having plumbing and yet it's just an outhouse. So some of those things get a little bit confusing, but I do think this is brilliant because I think this is fun. I'm worried we're going to be really cold tonight because it is really cold here right now. So when you're prepping to be off-grid, always make sure to have the things that you need for extreme things to happen. So even though it was in the 80s and 90s in Oklahoma, we brought our coats, knowing that we were going to be going north. We brought our coats, and we brought boots, and we brought sweatshirts, which means that tonight when we go to bed, there is no toilet here, there is no shower here. We will not be doing any of those things. We always have wet wipes with us whenever we are traveling, and especially when we're off-grid, so that we can do hygiene things. And then on top of that, you don't take your clothes off. You don't change into pajamas at night. You wear the clothes that you have on and you put layers on. If you're concerned about being able to stay warm, which I am concerned about tonight, we are going to keep on our day clothes. We're going to keep our socks on. We're going to keep our sweaters on. If we have to, we'll put our coats on to get in bed. And we will just see how it goes.
Okay, we're trying to get the bed set up a little bit better than it was last time because it was very lumpy when I went up to check on him. And this is much better.
We still have two blankets on the bottom.
Okay, so they have 2 sleeping bags.